Check. One.
Skol Vike fans, I was glad to say goodbye to the bye week. It's nice having the Vikings back on TV to watch and to fill the Sunday afternoon. And best part of all, we won! We won! As you can see, a little bit of Zerkers coming out as the season goes along. Vikings won versus the Kansas City Chiefs. It wasn't really the game I was expecting, but a win's a win. And just like at your local bar at closing time, beauty points don't really matter. On to the game. Vikings received the ball and marched down to the Kansas City 15 thanks to a nice throw by Teddy and a catch and run by Wright. Nice. It was a thing of beauty. Hit him in stride and just kept on going. It was great. And as nice as that throw was, there was an interception thrown in the end zone a couple plays later. But the Kansas City defender tried to return it and was tackled at the 4-yard line instead of downing it in the end zone and taking it at the 20.
Brilliant! Brilliant!
So KC has the ball on their 4-yard line and the Vikings defense pushes them back to their 2. And on the next play, there was a holding call in the end zone, but of course the refs didn't see it that way.
Y'all like Nat King Cole?
And the Kansas City Chiefs got to punt the ball instead of having a safety called, which, you know, the arguments were there and it was pretty obvious that it was quite a bit of a reach on that call. Yeah, reach. After the punt, the Vikings get the ball on their own 46. Diggs takes a short pass down to the Kansas City 23. 2 plays later, he takes it down to their 10. Diggs is playing good. Peterson gets pushed back on the next down, but Wallace takes it down to Kansas City 6. 3rd and goal, and Teddy throws an incomplete pass. Wallace comes on and boots a 24-yarder. It's good. 0-3 Vikings. Kansas City gets the ball at their 20. Our D is dominating, but on the second play, Floyd gets a roughing call that's questionable, but you know he did contact with the helmet, and they're going to call that. It helps Kansas City, but the drive stalls at the Kansas City 38. When the Vikings get the ball back, Peterson continues to be hitting the backfield when he gets the ball. The O-line. Oh, the O-line.
Here's an idea. Block your man.
It's obvious that they're keying on Peterson, they being the Kansas City defense and the Kansas City coaching staff and everybody on the Kansas City sideline. And, you know, just like the rest of the NFL, they all key on Peterson. Norv needs to do something. Quarter ends 0-3. After the Vikings punt, the defense pushes the Chiefs from the Kansas City 21 back to their 6, and they punt on a 4th and 17. The D is playing really well, as I said before, and it's just awesome. Viking offense gets the ball at their 49. They run a balanced attack of 6 runs and 6 passes. Peterson is still being keyed on. About 10 guys are watching him the way it seems, and the run game is not producing. The passing game produces a touchdown on this drive.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
0-10 Vikings. Halftime. Start the 3rd quarter, the Vikings stop the Chiefs on their first drive and they punt. Peterson takes the first play for 23 yards. Diggs adds 15, but the drive stalls and the Vikings have to kick a 45-yard field goal. 0-13 Vikings. KC starts it at their 20 again, but this time move the ball to the Vikings 7, but fail on a 4th and 1. And Floyd is just having a great game. The defense is having a great game. I like defense. And as good as the defense is looking, the offense is looking just the opposite. It's not looking good. The play calls are questionable. They're just predictable, really. And Norv needs to do something about that. I think I've said that already, but maybe I mean it. The 3rd quarter ends 0-13 Vikings. The Chiefs get a field goal on early in the 4th quarter with about 13 minutes left in the game to make it 3-13 Vikings. And Teddy gives the ball right back to him by throwing an interception on the next series. Kansas City takes that ball and puts it in the end zone on that possession at 10-13 Vikings with just under 9 minutes left. Completely different ball game now. The Minnesota Vikings, move the ball and get another field goal from Walsh. It's 10-16 Vikings, and Diggs is the only one really producing on offense.
Can you dig it?
KC starts on their 20. Again, Walsh is having a good game kicking off. And kicking field goals too. Walsh had a good game. Golf clap for a kicker. Alright. So, KC starts at the 20. The Vikings D gives up a large chunk of yards on the first play. And on the second play, Hunter forces a fumble and B-Rob recovers it.
Yes!
With a little less than 5 minutes left in the game. Game should be over, right? We should be able to run that clock out. We are at home. We are a running team. This should be it.
It almost sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Nope. Our play calls were too predictable, and Kansas City pretty much knew exactly what we were going to do and stopped us. We ended up punting. Norv's play calling was suspect all day, and for me, all season. We seem to be stuck in a rut, calling the same plays over and over and over again. It would not surprise me if Norv got a visit from these guys this week.
What would you say you do here?
But luckily, we're facing the Chiefs, and they failed to do anything with the ball and the time left on the clock that we gave them. Vikings end the game with 3 kneel downs. I have to point that out because negative rushing attempts were pretty common, so these were actual kneel downs and we're not supposed to gain any yards. Next week, it's on to Detroit, where the Lions just got done beating the Bears in the NFC North Toilet Bowl game. I'm not saying those two teams are bad, but no, wait, that's exactly what I'm saying. Those two teams are bad. So, hopefully next week the Vikings offense will generate some points because I know the Lions offense will try to generate points against our defense. Well, that wraps up this show. Well, one more thing. I'm glad we got to come off a bye week with a win. I've heard it was been like 6 years since that happened. And that's a long time to not win coming off a bye week. Hopefully these coaches and this staff have got this team turned around facing the right direction. And the Lions go down next week. I'm Berserker88. Your Vike fans, Skol Vikings.